Hello everyone, my name is Jolly Green and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Through the Ages. In today's episode, we are going to be talking just a little bit about this red dust that we collected last episode. I hope you're ready. That's right, as I'm sure most of you watching already knew, this red dust that we found in the last episode is actually redstone dust. And this has a number of uses, and we're going to cover them all, but first we need to start at the beginning. How do we obtain this redstone dust? And that is really not that difficult. Last episode we found it in the loot chest of a dungeon, so obviously that is an option for us as of right now. But the easier way to get it is going to be down in the bottom of this hole. Oh, and look at that. They fixed the texture of the minecart, so we no longer are sitting on a chest. That's good. How's it look in third person? Oh yeah, we look normal now. Cool. So I've been digging for quite a bit here, and I actually found it. So this right here is actually unnamed at the moment, but it'll later become known as redstone dust ore, or just redstone ore, I suppose. But we're going to mine this up with not our stone pickaxe, but we're actually going to switch to our iron pickaxe. Otherwise, we won't get anything. And just like that, we got 5 dust. Oh, and look at this cool bug that I discovered. You can stick stuff in your crafting grid, and it just chills there. You can basically have 4 extra spots of inventory, which is super handy, especially for mining. This does take considerably longer to mine, I believe, than what we're used to. Even with the iron pickaxe, it's taken a hot minute. We actually have no way of obtaining the ore itself at the moment, as we have no silk touch at all. So the dust is as good as it's going to get. And I'm just going to collect up as much of this as possible, and we have some stuff to go over back at base. And as you can see, it does give off a little bit of a light when hit. That is a trait that carries with it throughout all the updates. Welcome to a new segment I'm calling Let's Get Redstoned. In today's segment, we're going over redstone. So as we already discussed, to get the dust, you mine the ore. And then you can place the dust. Now, this redstone dust has an almost electric-like quality to it. As if you place a power source, it sends a signal from point A to point B. Now, this signal strength hasn't really changed much over the years. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, if we place the torch here, it goes all the way to the end and not any further. You see how that was light up and the other one wasn't? Now, as far as sources of this redstone power goes, we have obviously the redstone torch, just a stick with some redstone on top. But then we also have the button. You may have noticed that the recipe for the button is not quite what we're used to, as it requires just 1 stone nowadays. Right now it needs 2. But once we have our stone, we can place this down here with the button attached, and that sends just a short pulse. Other options that we have is the stone and the wooden pressure plate. Both have essentially the same function as of right now, just different looks. You step on it, it sends a signal. Now, as far as things that these redstone signals can trigger, the list right now is not very long. Essentially, we can send it to the torch to turn it off, or a door to open it. Not sure why this door didn't trigger. Speaking of doors, you may have noticed that we have iron doors now as well. Similar to a wooden door, except we can't open it unless we use redstone. Handy for traps, or safes, or if you just want to secure your house. And they also take forever to mine. So unless you have a pickaxe, you're stuck behind it. One of the last things that I can think of that you can do with a redstone signal is you can actually activate a switch track. So this is a functionality that also stays with redstone for all the updates. It allows you to do cool things like this, which I think, this being the case, we right now could build a pretty decent roller coaster. That might come next episode. And that wraps up today's segment of Let's Get Redstoned. I've got some bad news, everyone. I came up to our pig farm to try to see if we could add a little bit of redstone to it and make it a little better. So I added this button, which will automatically open and close the door for us. And I stood up here for a good couple minutes, waiting for pigs to spawn. And look at this. The spawners are activated, the pigs are spinning, but we're not getting any pigs. This is concerning. I was hoping that this would be a forever farm. Didn't even last us one update. But I'll take a look and see. I mean, the pigs are still there, so I can only imagine that they're going to spawn. They're just not for some reason. Maybe it's the water. I don't know. But I think we got time in this episode to take a look at it, though, because that's what I had planned, was to be adding redstone to some of our current things. Speaking of which, I actually think I want to make a button for our door. There. So we have that, which that works. But, you know, in all honesty, I think we could do something better. Let's try this on for size. So this is the wooden pressure plate. So I forgot to go over it in our list of redstone sources earlier, but this is one of them. This, whoa, okay, it's not as thick when you place it down. This, when you step on it, it emits a redstone signal, which, okay, apparently you don't get it when you break it. That's awesome. Let's make another one. Now, in all honesty, I just need a half slab. But, and as you'll notice from me crafting that, is that the recipe is a little different than what we're used to. That should be the recipe for slabs, not the recipe for the pressure plate. But there, that is much better. Beautiful. Now, back to the task at hand. Let's see if we can figure out why these pigs aren't spawning. Now, the kind of tricky part about updating this farm, or troubleshooting this farm, is that we can't move these spawners. Those are in place. If we break those, we'll get nothing. So it just adds a little bit of a challenge to this whole thing. Let's see if they just need some, like a block to stand on without the water. That's my first thought. You know, another thought that I'm having is what do passive mobs need to spawn? I'll tell you. I'll tell you right meow. Oftentimes, we need some of the green. So let's bring in some grass and see if that does the ticket for us. All right, big news, everyone. I was waiting for the grass to grow in the pig farm over here. I was walking back to the house just to be in a safe place for the night. And then these 4 pumpkins were just chilling on the ground. So I think that means that our farm actually is working to some degree. Like, I don't know if these two cacti were short and they were sitting on the ground. I don't know. It seems like we got it. It's just not consistent, maybe? I'm not even sure. We're going to have to mess around with that a little bit, too, I think. One thing I have been doing is crafting up a bunch of books, or I guess not a bunch, but a few, because right now in this update, the recipe is cheaper for books. It only costs 3 paper. It doesn't include the leather at all. And I want to make as many bookshelves as we can while that is the case, because it's a kind of a pain to get the leather for books. So I'm going to start a nice little library over here. And then that way we have bookshelves when we need them, because we know we're going to need at least a few. So I've been messing around with this pig spawner that we had here, and honestly, I can't get it to work. I have tried putting some dirt closer to the spawner to see if it was just out of range. I know with the pig spawners it needs some sort of land for the pigs to spawn on, it seems. So I was hoping by maybe bringing in grass, which passive mobs need, then that would do the trick, but still nothing. I've tried complete darkness. I think this one over here. Oh no, it's still light up. But nonetheless, I mean, I've been messing around with it, and I can't seem to get it to spawn pigs, which is a little disappointing because I was hoping that I'd have an easy food farm right here. But, I mean, I should have enough pork chop to last me a little bit. Maybe it's just a bug with this version. Who knows? It might get straightened out in a future version. So I'm not going to take this down yet. We're just going to move on. Look at that. I was wondering where all my minecarts were disappearing to. Apparently they were glitching off the tracks and ending up right here. That's funny. Okay, well, we'll just take these back. Thank you. I almost forgot, though. There is one more very important use of redstone that we almost didn't mention. And that is igniting TNT. Oh, damn. That explosion's so much more satisfying than it is nowadays. I like that sound better. Bring back the alpha explosion sound. Hashtag. As far as other areas around the base that could use a redstone touch-up, I can't really think of any. The first thing that's coming to mind is I want to build a roller coaster on this mountain. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think that's what we're going to do next episode. But for now, I guess we're going to call it here. It may be a little bit of a shorter episode, but my last Sky Factory episode was almost an hour long, so I guess this one could be a little shorter. And I don't have a lot of time this week. But thank you very much for watching. If you did make it this far, leave a comment down below of what you enjoyed. And let me know other suggestions, anything that I miss. I tend to miss a lot in these videos, I realize after the fact. So if I did miss anything, make sure to let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow me over on my Twitch as well. It's all greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Stay jolly.